Hi, today I have a message called What is Important? So let's find out what that is. I received this outline a little while ago. I don't know, maybe a couple days. I don't remember, so I'm going to find out with you. Okay. When you reduce an equation to its simplest form, things seem to drop away from it to present it in a clear and direct way. Similarly, whenever looking at what seems like a dense situation, you can look to see what thoughts can drop out of it. So we're reducing the equation to its simplest form. We're dealing with a solution. But when we're looking at something that seems complicated, the ego is sending us a lot of thoughts about it, both positive and negative. A lot of decrees, a lot of pretty dramatic thoughts if you look at them. And if we set all of those thoughts from ego down and just ask, what really is here? What is my response if I'm supposed to have one? What am I supposed to say or do? It is very beautiful to come into nothingness in the sense that you don't know yet. It's like this huge open field. It's a very beautiful space where you don't know yet, but you can be told. And the more time, do I want to say time, or the more we experiment with this space, putting all of the ego thoughts down and knowing we don't know yet, but in this very beautiful space, I think as we practice coming into it, it becomes beautiful to us. It's a gift, and it's a gift to everyone. In this very beautiful space, then we can get told, do this, do that, or don't do this, don't do that. Usually for me, more do this, do that. And then I don't have to encounter, don't do this, don't do that. Or say this, say that. And in this space, those instructions can come through, but it's like getting patient enough to rest here in what seems like nothing and what seems like no instruction. Because the ego will give its instructions and its reasonings very quickly. We're very adjusted to, attuned to, used to consulting ego and following it, consulting ego and following it, consulting ego and following it. And we do it unthinkingly, and we still do this in a lot of areas of our lives. But there are those areas where we've begun to question and open up this field that we can step into and sit in and rest in and just wait. And our confidence builds that we will be told. We don't know yet, but we will be told. And as we rest in this space, it's really calm and peaceful and beautiful and loving, and it's the certainty that it's a gift. It's a gift for everyone to rest in this space. So I think that's what people talk about when they mean to do nothing, but that's not going to appeal to the ego. So put this way, I can see not that we're trying to appeal to the ego, but to help remind us of why would we want to do nothing? Why would we want to rest in this space? Why would we want to wait for the instructions that come second, not the instructions that come first? The instructions that come first we're used to. We kind of came here for the purpose of hearing those instructions and having experience based on those instructions. But now we're, withdrawing from it, turning it around, letting ourselves remember who we are and who everyone is. And there's this very beautiful space we can rest in, and then it becomes very simple, like reducing an equation. All the complexity drops out of anything the ego would say about anything, and it becomes very simple, very straightforward. There is a very simple guidance available to all at all times. Under this guidance, no one loses. That is so tremendously reassuring. When you look at any situation in the world that could seem to cause distress, when you look at it and you remember the reality of simple guidance and how it's available to everyone and how there aren't any exceptions to that, and how you yourself can allow evidence of this to be shown to you, because not only do you want to receive simple guidance and follow it, you would like to see everyone around you doing the same, receiving the same. So share that gift you receive, because when people rest in the simple silence and peace and joy and love, and then get told what to say and what to do, you're around the sanity that is yours and everyone's, and you see that reflected back to you everywhere. So of course, this beautiful gift of this space you can come into even before you get any instructions. Of course, you want to share that with everyone, because how lovely when everyone has this beautiful gift that you have. You wouldn't want to keep it to yourself. You'd want to share it. Anger can only come when you believe you have lost something, or when you believe that access to something needed has been barred. And I think I would add when you believe you've done something wrong, when you've been cut off from a sense of your own goodness, the goodness that belongs to everyone and everything. So if anger comes, it's a moment to reorient and to notice, what do I believe I have done wrong? Or what do I believe someone else has done wrong? That's actually what I believe I have done wrong. If you look at it slowly and carefully, just have a lot of patience and think about what you think someone else doesn't get, doesn't understand, or is doing wrong, and then turn it around to yourself, you'll eventually be able to see that, oh, that's projection. I brought this entire experience to myself, trying to avoid my certainty that I have done wrong, this torment. And wouldn't we rather let this torment go, because you doing wrong could never be true? It can be experienced, and you can have physical evidence to indicate it, but the thing about experience is that it's a hallucination, and the thing about physical evidence and time and space is that they're hallucinations, and our hallucinations support whatever we want. So when we see someone else doing wrong, being a destroyer, we turn it back around to ourselves, and we go very slowly and quietly and carefully, we'll see, I believe myself to be guilty of this. I see myself as a wrongdoer. And this one's helping me see that I haven't let go of it yet. Otherwise, I couldn't even feel a tiny bit of frustration. I would be secure in the remembrance that basically I'm okay, you're okay, everything's okay. If our hallucination is telling us it's not okay, it's a bad trip. A bad trip isn't real, it's just a bad trip. And sitting still, what can come to us is that which reorients us to seeing a very gentle, loving hallucination. So that's what we want. That's what we're turning toward together. A very gentle, loving hallucination. And if I should feel anger, I've turned away from that. I've turned away from the gift that's being offered to me. But there's a way to turn back toward it. It has to involve questioning the thoughts that caused the experience of anger. Anger is an experience, and it's an experience that tells us we're separate, that someone can do wrong to us, or conditions can do us wrong, or that we could do wrong to others or other things. And it's an experience we give ourselves. It's a hallucination we give ourselves with thought. So if I have anger, I've definitely believed thoughts. And those thoughts have given me experience, and the experience of physical evidence backing things up. That doesn't make it real. It makes it real seeming. It makes it the reality I've given myself to live within, but it doesn't make it real. And to have that distinction is to see how flexible what we call reality is, how conformable. I use this word conformable a lot lately. I like it. How conformable what we call reality, the perception of time and space, is to what is actual. So our reality, our perception of time and space can show us very gently, very beautifully, very lovingly the goodness without opposite that everyone and everything actually is underneath any fear we have been projecting upon them. So we have to have the willingness to let that fear recede and disappear. In A Course in Miracles, one of the lines is, I will forgive and this will disappear, or something like that. So we see through the fear cloud we projected on everyone and everything. We acknowledge, I projected it. I take responsibility. Another thing it says in A Course in Miracles is that you take full responsibility for the ego. Well, if there's only one of us, and responsibility isn't blame, it's not pretending it's real, then yeah, any of us can take responsibility at any time. And we see through that to the kindness, the love, the gentleness, the gift that's actually here and has always been here for everyone and will continue to be here for everyone until we reach out for it, accept it, and allow it to appear in tangible forms. Okay. Seeing through, I just said that. Let's say it again. Seeing through surfaces leads you to what is important. So if I forget what is important is behind any surface I think I see, I think I'm interacting with, I think is real, it's behind it. And to train my focus to gaze through anything fear would project to what is actually here is to allow the extension of love. And then love shows me a very direct reflection, still in illusion, because I'm being walked through and out of illusion, still in illusion, a very direct reflection of what is actual, what is real. So seeing through surfaces is a skill we're all looking toward, building together, and relying upon together. So that means all the positive and negative judgments of any surface we're learning to set aside as unimportant, because what's really important is shared and behind all contradicting surfaces. If something is missing, it's always forgiveness. So if I have a sense of lack, it is an illusion I made with ego thought. And if I focus on seeing through that illusion to the joined, benign reality of goodness without opposite that's shining behind all illusions, and I focus there, when I focus there, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. I am a child, and I have to be shown. So, my job is to set down any positive or negative judgments about any surface, to look past the surface, to rest in the goodness without opposite that I find there. That's my job. And then I might be given a job from there. So as I rest in the goodness without opposite that's always here for me, and I learn to do that when I've taken up my arms, my sword, I don't feel good, right? To put those weapons down, to focus past whatever it was I thought I had to fight against or support especially. Look past that to what has always been here for all of us. The light, the love, the gentleness, the goodness without opposite, shining behind all the surfaces, the violent ones and the peaceful ones. It's one thing shining behind all of them. I rest in that light. I do nothing. In this space, I might be given some instructions as to what to say, what to do. And they're easy to follow because I've calmed myself down, I've made myself receptive, and when I'm given instructions in this place, it's really easy to do what comes into my mind. Thank goodness, the relief of that, because another idea we have of doing is that we have to make ourselves do things, and make ourselves do things the right way, make ourselves do the right things, and prevent ourselves from doing the wrong things. So learning to come and rest in this space is a huge relief. And this is the space of forgiveness. We've seen through a surface, and any especially positive or negative comparative judgments the ego would attempt to lay upon it to make it real and valuable to us. And we go through to what's truly valuable, the goodness without opposite that is joined, it's one, and it's real, and it's always here, and it's us together, and it's everything, it's anything you would look upon. We rest there. That's forgiveness. That's going home. We rest at home. And then if something needs to be made obvious, it can be in this receptive, quiet place. We learn how to consult, be in, rest in this quiet, receptive place, no matter what seems to be happening. It seems like a big challenge if there's noise around us or a lot of changing forms around us, not to automatically go into ego's analysis and interpretation of all the comparative judgments, ideas it has about all the things it's seeing, and then to take ego's guidance about what to say and what to do. We're training so we can, even if it seems there's a lot to hear, a lot to see, a lot to touch, a lot to smell, to not get confused with our automatic associations with all of that, and to instead go beyond it into the quiet place and take all our instruction from there. When we do that, then our perception and our experience and our feeling is determined by our actual thoughts. Something I'm focusing on today is my mind holds only what I think with God. So in my mind there aren't any ego thoughts. I have invented a false mind, which is full of ego thoughts. But in my actual mind, which I share with you, thank goodness there's this tremendous peace. Only the thoughts of God are in that mind. So resting in that peace, we're receptive, and we can be helped, and we can be helpful, as long as we don't think we know specifically what should be done to assist us, and as long as we don't think we know specifically how others should be helped. We don't actually know. It's just a making of perception based on a belief and thought. So knowing that we don't know, we can be told and we can be guided. That's much simpler. Okay, hope that helps. Happy healing. Thank you.